So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom and time for rambles. So another update on what's going on in the world of tanks as I see it this week. So obviously heading towards Gamescom 2017, which is one of those sort of diary events that Wargaming very excited about. So we're going to discuss the new Swedish premium tank, which rumour has it will be on sale today, certainly on the Russian server. Thursday. Other things to look at, well, missed on the last rambles because it came in just after I'd published a whole load of updates to the British heavy tanks, and including a brand new British heavy tank that will replace the tier 10, so that's coming up. Other things to talk about: the changes to the Panzer, upgunning that and what that means for the game. Also interesting, have you ever wondered how much Wargaming makes out of various tanks? There's a rumour about how much they made from the Pudel and how successful that was. Also, how many tanks do you reckon, how many premium tanks have been launched this year so far? I won't tell you because I'll tell you later on in this video, but it will be doubled by the end of the year, according to one report that I've seen so far. So that's interesting. We've got other things like the merging of the North American server. Not sure how well that's going to go down. Be very interesting to see what people think, and lots of other good stuff. So let's dive straight in, shall we? So this came in just after I'd posted my last rambles, which was inevitable, I guess. We talked about lots of revisions to many of the tech lines that, or tech trees that Wargaming are looking at the moment. Changes to French, American, Germans, even the Russian Supreme Mediums were getting a buff. British TDs are being looked at, and everyone was saying, what about the British heavies? Well, it looks like they are. However, I don't think they're going far enough with this, but anyway. And I like the logic Wargaming are working to, so that they have this philosophy, or have adopted this philosophy, is that the tech trees should have some uniqueness between them and other types of tanks, so that, you know, you play a British tank, it's different to a German tank, which is different again to a Russian tank, and that's all good. But also there should be some logic of how the line works, so that, you know, what they've done with the Foch, it makes no sense to have an autoloader at tier 10 when there hasn't been one at the earlier tiers, because the principle is you learn how to play the tank, you get better at it, you then move on up to the next tier. If it's completely different, it makes no sense at all. And you know, it takes you a long time to learn. So I kind of get that, and I think it's a good thing to do. So what they're looking at now is British heavy tanks and the role they fulfill. And traditionally British heavy tanks have had this sort of role of kind of a hybrid medium and heavy. And they kind of, as a result, they have very fast firing guns usually, but don't do a huge amount of damage. But it means they're kind of in the new meta of the game. They've been outstripped. You know, when you've got defenders wandering around, you've got all these super heavy armoured tanks, the British gun just can't keep up. So what they're suggesting is they're looking to revise the British heavy tanks. They're looking to stretch the gun, so tanks, to make them no longer just that sort of medium hybrid anymore, so that they become well-armoured, multi-purpose heavies with excellent guns. So we shall see. Carnarvon is the first one, tier 8. It says its in-game role currently is a hybrid between mediums and heavies, and they're planning to make it a real heavy, armoured and with an evil gun, inverted commas. In order to do that, the vehicle's protection has also been increased, and it will receive a new turret and a new 32-pounder gun. Wow. In compensation for that increased armour and firepower, its mobility and manoeuvrability will be reduced. So you can see here, this is on the super test. Obviously these stats, like all of them, are subject to change. This is super test only. So the turret is going up considerably. So the top of this main area of the turret is going from 239 to 256. basically 256 is the weakest armour this turret is going to have. The cheeks and sides 273, which with the sort of rounding you get, it will probably block an awful lot of shells, or at least bounce off a lot of shells. So that's good. I think the armour on that has really struggled. The Conqueror, the tier 9. So again, they've significantly increased the armour, making it a more balanced heavy tank, done that will be able to take a punch and swiftly return it. Again, they've reduced mobility and this time rate of fire on the super server even. So this has gone, the main turret armour has gone from 324 to 331, so not a huge increase, but the hull armour is significantly better. It goes from 259 to 304 effective on the front plate, and the side, well, this sort of wing area is 331, so pretty darn good. Very, very nice indeed. Here's another article on this on the Daily Bounce. So you can see the new look turret that they're planning to put on the Carnarvon. Sorry, this one is the new look turret. It looks more like Centurion turret, to be honest, but with a lot of armour. So they're replacing the 20mm, which 20-pounder gun, with this 32. Damage per minute goes from wow, geez, really, 1,845 to an insane 2,920. You're not kidding, that's insane. Wow. So you can see the increased armour, even the front plate's getting a little bit more armour. Not much, just 5 mils, but everything's good, right? Hull armour's increased as well, so that will help with side scraping. 50.8 to 76.2. Turret change from 198 to 254. Side of the turret is reduced though, so they're weakening that. They are looking at, so the new gun, so the penetration will go down on the gun, will go from 226 to 220, but the alpha will go from 230 to 280. But then this huge increase in rate of fire from 1,800 to 2,900. That's got to be a mistake, surely, because the reload time goes from 7.5 to 5.7. Wow, that's ridiculous. So you're getting 10.5 rounds per minute almost from 8. Jeez. However, muzzle velocity for the armor piercing round drops considerably, 1,020 to 878. Now that's important. Muzzle velocity is important for when you're firing at distant shots, when you're firing at targets that are moving, because obviously the slower the shell is, the less, or the more time it needs to hit the target, therefore the more lead you need to put. The faster the shell velocity, the quicker the shell hits, the less you have to actually lead a target at all. So it's kind of important, more important on TDs than heavy tanks, to be honest, because heavy tanks are supposed to be up close and personal. Power to rate goes down slightly, but that's increased armor, I guess. Ammo count drops by 10 from 60 to 50. Now 50, when you're firing as many shells as rapidly as this gun is going to be firing, that could actually be a problem. It could end up running out. Accuracy gets slightly worse, 0.3 to 0.32, so not a huge difference. Aim time also slightly worse, 1.82 to 2.21. Aftershot bloom, so when you fired, the targeting bloom will actually get tighter, so that's good. So basically a mixed bag, I think, is what fair to say. They haven't increased the pen very much, but a huge rate of fire increase, absolutely huge. As I say, all things are subject to change, because this is just on super test, hasn't even hit the test server yet. So and I guess these changes are potentially coming in 9.2.1, so not the next patch, the patch after. The Conqueror, which is a tank people love as well, it will lose its stock turret and be replaced with the top turret. but it will also get a new turret. So basically the one that is the current top turret will become stock, and you'll get a new top turret on this thing. What will that do for it? Well, let's have a look at the changes that will give. It's going to reduce the damage per minute by 100, so not a huge change, but reduction in DPM is never great. What about to sneeze? Reload time goes up, however, so damage per minute drops, but your rate of fire, your reload time gets better. Oh no, that's, hang on, sorry, oh Dom, you're an idiot. So it's worse because it takes 10.8 seconds to reload the gun, whereas it's 10.06 at the moment. Okay, rounds per minute, slight drop from 5.9 to 5.5, so again not massive. But what do you get with this new 32mm gun on it? What's the pen doing? Don't tell me what the pen is. Doesn't tell me. So you get a 32mm. If it's like the previous one, it's going to increase the alpha, but not necessarily the pen. But it doesn't actually say in this article, which is slightly frustrating. So Conqueror also getting some love. Interesting. About time they looked at the British tech tree. As I say, I think the Black Prince could really do a bit of love as well. It's a little bit too vanilla at the moment in my mind, but I know people love their Black Princes and Carnarvons and what have you, and I've only got to the Carnarvon. I haven't pushed on. I really need to get on further up the line, and that's because of this next piece of news. So they are also talking about replacing the FV215B with a Super Conqueror. Now, we don't know for certain, but speculation is that much like they're doing with the Foch, if you have the FV215B in your garage at the time of replacement, you will get this Super Conqueror for free and keep the FV as a premium tank. Now, we don't know for certain, but that's what a lot of people are suggesting. This is what Harkonnen's saying on the Daily Bounce. I saw, I think Circumflex is talking about it as well on one of his videos. So my advice is, if you are close to getting the FV215B and you want a free tier 10 that's going to be removed from, that's going to be unique, basically, get working on your British heavy tanks, because it probably will be back end of this year before this patch comes in, if they bring it in as they're planning. But it could well be that you're in for a freebie tank, and which means you will be seeing loads and loads and loads of heavy tanks out on the battlefield, British heavy tanks out on the battlefield, because like the Foch, everyone's working to try and get that tier 10 Foch so they can get the free tier 10. So this is the Super Conqueror that they're proposing to replace. The model's very boxy because it's still early days in terms of super test. They haven't quite finished the modelling. It looks alright from what you can see of it from these models. That looks nice. Nice tank. It's more historical, it's more accurate, I guess, in terms of as a vehicle. The FV is completely fake, I believe. Not much armour, in fact very little armour, but it looks like there's a lot of spaced armour. Okay, so it's largely spaced armour on the front. You can see this blue section here looks like spaced armour, so these wings here, so it's going to have a lot of spaced armour on it, which is kind of cool. Some of the stats: 2,350 hit points, carries a 120mm gun, which has a penetration of 259 with standard rounds, and 326 with APCR. Average damage of 400, reload time of 8.9, rate of fire 6.7, aiming time of 1.92. So its damage per minute is not particularly sensational, 2,690. It's okay, but it's nothing special at all. Accuracy of 0.31 is very good, however. So it's a fairly accurate heavy tank in the mould of the British tanks currently. Gun depression of -7% is very good. -7, no percent, just -7. Hull and turret traverse is 26 degrees per second. Top speed of 34, so it's quite sluggish. Very sluggish. Hull armour 152 at the front, 76, 38. and turret armor 279, 89 and 70. So I mean, it does look to have a lot of spaced armor, and the rounding on the turret means that you're probably going to bounce quite a lot with that sort of armor. We shall have to see. Weighs 73 tons, engine power of 950, which is why you get that fairly sluggish top speed. Power ratio is 13, so it's not too bad actually. For a heavy tank, that's not bad. Concealment, well, it's a heavy, forget that. View range is an awesome 400 meters, because heavy tanks always need to outspot lights. Of course they do, Wargaming. So anyway, if you are working down the British heavy tanks and you fancy the pain of grinding through this line to get to the tier 10, and you want to get a free tier 10, potentially, and I'm going to say caveat, we don't know for certain, but this is what's being suggested here, and I've heard it in multiple places, that they will potentially replace the FV215B with this new Super Conqueror, and you will get to keep the FV as a premium. That's the speculation. So if you think that's going to happen, then I suggest you get out there and bang your British tanks. That sounds all wrong, but you know what I mean. So I talked about this a couple of times. The new Strava 81, the Swedish premium tier 8 medium tank, is actually a Centurion decked out as a Swedish tank, and you can buy it with this Sabaton. So it's going to be a joint thing that Wargaming are announcing with this Swedish rock band Sabaton. And you will be able to buy it as a plain vanilla tank, I believe, and also with this S Sabaton sort of skirting colours, which actually isn't too offensive, I guess. But what's really cool about this appears to be that you get the band. So this is I believe is the rock gods that are Sabaton in this tank. And you get them as crew members, come with 0 skill brothers in arms, apparently, when it is sold. So if you're looking for a Swedish 0 skill brother in arms, mind you, most people have got loads of them because of all the Swedish girlies that were available through, was it last Christmas? All the missions you could get. But anyway, it looks like you can get 5 hairy ass rockers, well, 4 hairy ass rockers and 1 baldy ass rocker with 0 skill brothers in arms. So that's kind of cool. If you're going to buy this tank, that's another incentive to do so. Rumour is it's going to be available at Gamescom, which is what, 25th of August, so not far away, another week or so, and you'll be able to give your money graciously to Wargaming, because I know how much you love doing that, you lovely folks out there. So a quick update on this story. According to What Express, which is the World of Tanks Russian sort of Facebook page, the Fagin 81 will go on sale today, Thursday the 17th of August, Moscow time, at least on the Russian server. So we'll have to find out whether or not that's going to be on every other server, but if it's there on the Russian server, it probably won't be long after it will be on all the others. And incidentally, what they've said here, what they quite cheerfully say, this will be the 8th premium this year, and hold on to your hat, boys and girls, and we expect the same number of new products to be sold before the end of the year. So we've had 8, we can expect 8 more before the end of the year, so you better start saving your pocket money. Oh joy. So an update from Armoured Patrol. So we talked about the Swedish premium tank coming very soon, getting the Sabaton Brothers in Arms crew. They're also reporting that the Chinese premium TD, the WZ-121G FT, which was a tank I did a quick update from, looking at the test server and all the files that are there. You can see the tank there. You can't play with it, but you can see it. So they're reporting that's coming to the EU and IU and Asian premium shots soon. No talk about North America. I don't know why that would be. Maybe Donald Trump won't let Chinese tanks come to the American server. I don't know. I'm joking. I don't know. But it's a nice little tank. It does look very, very interesting. It's got a very rapid rate of fire. It looks very, very stealthy, very low silhouette, pretty mobile as well for a TD. So I think that's going to be an enormous amount of fun to play with when that hits the shops. We shall see when that is, but they are Armoured Patrol saying not long to wait, unless you're North American, of course. Could be just a typo, maybe it's just left it out, I don't know. And they're reporting also that if Chinese TDs become a success, then Wargaming will think about introducing a gigantic Japanese TD line. Oh my god. Oh, so you're going to have an O-Hos and O-Knees as TDs. Oh, joy. Wow. Well, we'll see whether that happens, but that's interesting. Something you don't really need Armoured Patrol to tell you is that the Pudel was a huge success. Sold it in great numbers. If you go into anything around tier 8 to tier 5 games, you will see loads of Pudels, and I think that's largely because there are so many Polish players of this game. And you know, it's the first sort of proper national tank they've had, apart from the Rudy, which isn't in their own tech line. So they reckon that the EU server alone earned more than €2 million from that tank. €2 million. Holy cow, I'm in the wrong business. Anyway, you know, I guess they tapped it. I mean, how easy was it as well? I mean, this is the scary thing. This was just basically a reskin of an existing vehicle that's in the game. In fact, it's 2 existing vehicles that are in the game. It was a reskin of, and they just stuck a whole lot of Polish specialties in there, you know, special food and the Polish crews and Polish voices, and they made €2 million out of it. What a business model they have. They're saying the fate of the Polish medium BBT, BRP and Panic, don't know, I have no idea what that is, will go on sale for gold once the Polish line is ready to appear, and they're saying that that will probably now come next year. It was planned earlier, supposedly December, but HD maps are more of a priority. I don't want HD maps, Wargaming. I want new maps. New maps, that's what we need, not HD maps. They're obsessed with HD maps, and it's the maps are suffering as a result of that. We need new maps. Don't want posh and pretty maps. We want new maps. Simples. So I don't normally feature World of Tank Blitz because I don't play it, so I don't pretend to know anything about it. But this is the... Well, I think you play it on iPads and smartphones, don't you? I think it's that kind of version of game. Apparently very popular, growing in numbers, I believe. But very, very interesting. They're talking about bringing in anti-tank guided missiles on a T-49 on this. So here we go. This is the T-49. You can't see the missiles anywhere. It's the first vehicle in the game to be equipped with guided missiles. So this is it, T-49 ATGM. It's a tier 7 vehicle. Players will receive the vehicle with unlocked equipment in a garage slot. The T-49 ATGM will be removed. Oh, so it's only for a special event. Okay, so it's there for a special event, and then it'll be removed from your garage. So is that being tested out? Is that what they're... Oh, look at these. Look at this video. Huh. Wow. Wow. Yeah, interesting. We shall see what happens. So the mechanic... let's see, in terms of characteristic, the tank resembles the T-49. Main difference is the gun. It has a longer loading time and fires missiles which fire directly where you guide them due to the absence of dispersion. Additionally, the commander of the T-49 can correct the trajectory of the missile. While in the air, the missile will follow your reticle as it's always located at the center of the screen. Don't mistake that for the aiming circle. So basically, yeah, you aim the vehicle, you aim the reticle, and it'll fly around corners. These mechanics allow players to fire from behind a hill or around a corner and hit a cabin of an unattentive tank destroyer from above. On the other hand, if your target is located within your visual range, you'll have to track it with your reticle in order to keep the missile along the desired route. Wow. So there you go. Wire-guided missiles coming to the World of Tanks Blitz. Oof. Does that mean we might start getting them in World of Tanks proper? I don't know. I don't know what I feel about that. I mean, it's just another mechanic at the end of the day, but the fact it can potentially fire around corners changes the game rather a lot. What do you think? Fancy them? Fancy some rockets on your tanks? Don't know. I bet people have got some thoughts around that one. Let me know down below. So talking about North America, reports, widespread reports, it seems to be genuinely true, is that the Wargaming are going to merge the two North American servers. So there'll no longer be an East or a West server. There will be a Central American server, which basically will feed both sides, and that is due to happen, well, as I'm recording this today, August the 16th. So they're saying it's to improve stability and enjoyment of the game experience. I suspect it's just the numbers haven't been there to justify having two servers. It'd be interesting to see what impact that has. I know quite a lot of US players watch these videos, so let me know how you're feeling about this. Is it changing how the game plays? Are you getting more ping? Is your frame rate dropping? Because it can be a major impact, especially if you're already on a not fantastic machine, and then suddenly you've got to reach a server that's a lot further away. And also, I know that there's an awful lot of South American players who play on the North American servers, and how will that impact them? I don't know. Anyway, it's happening. The new server's located in Chicago. That's not very central, is it? Anyway, what else they're saying? Do you need to do anything? No, there's an automatic patch, so that should have already happened. And they're basically saying it's because, things like we know it's because of numbers, and they sort of admit it here, because the goal for merging servers into the new central location is to improve matchmaking for all players, having them to join one single queue. So if you've got less players, splitting them out to two different servers means that load time is going to be a lot worse, and that's what they're kind of admitting here. That with the new 30 by 30s, the clan stuff, all those sort of things coming, it's better to have just one server. So I don't know. But anyway, as I say, there's a lot of players out there I know who watch this video, so let me know how it's going. Are you pleased with having one server? I can see the benefits of it. It's nice to have a bigger pool of players, right? And not have to flick around between the different servers. But I don't know. Seems a shame, really, and just points to what everyone really knows is that they still have not managed properly to crack North America with this game. It's huge in Eastern Europe, pretty big in Western Europe. North America, not so much. So news again on the Super Test server. The German Tier 8 tank destroyer, the Kronenjagdpanzer. This is a pretty rare tank. You don't see it very often. It was bought out a couple of years ago now, and it's probably one of the most unpopular premium tanks in the game. And they gave it a buff a little while ago. Still wasn't very good. It carries a 90mm gun, basically the same 90mm gun the RU-251 has on board, but this is a Tier 8 tank destroyer, and generally Tier 8 tank destroyers have a Tier 9 or a Tier 10 gun, so they're testing out putting a 105mm gun on it to try and make it a little bit more playable, which frankly it needs it. I've got one. I really wanted it because it's quite a stealthy beast, very quick, but it is a huge disappointment, frankly. So the gun will give you 268 standard pen, 330 with premium, and 390 average damage, so a much more effective gun than previously. Now, so we don't know yet whether whether they will directly replace the gun on the you know, so if you already own this tank and you've got the 90mm gun on it, will they swap it out and put the 105 on it? But or would you get this as a different version? We just simply don't know what will happen. I guess some people might like the 90mm and then they might want to have it swapped out, but I don't know. But it's going to be good. I mean, they're talking about here we go. Average standard AP shell replaced by an APCR, so that will fly much quicker than it's currently done. So the penetration goes up by 30 mils from 238 to 268, which is pretty dang good. Shell velocity goes up by a huge amount. That's what the APCR does. Look at that, 1030 standard at the moment to 1478 with the new rounds. Very, very nice. Reload time goes up, however, obviously with the bigger shells, so 6 seconds to 10.5 seconds basically. So rounds per minute almost halves, 9.9 to 5.6. Damage per minute also drops by 200, so that's not so good either. Gun traverse bloom when you traversing the gun also drops, so it's better. Gun traverse when firing on the move is also better, and the power ratio is dropped slightly. That's just the weight of the gun difference, I think, from 19.46 to 19.23. So very, very nice. So yeah, be interesting to see what they do with this thing. I mean, this thing, where's the top speed? There we go, 70 kph is its top speed. Very, very quick animal, very quick, and it's quite a sexy beast. It's quite a nice looking vehicle, but yeah, we'll see what they do with that. It'd be intriguing to see whether they, as I say, what they do with this. If you own it, like me, will you be able to get the 105mm? I mean, the good thing about the 90, at least it fires more rapidly, but then that's quite a lot more pen, quite a lot more damage. So, or will they just give you two versions of the same vehicle? What will they do? I don't know. Most people it won't matter because this tank didn't really sell and there aren't that many out there, but I know some people do love it. So anyway, let me know if you got it. Let me know what you think about it. Do you hate it? Is it a complete dog? Would you rather keep the 90mm or get the bigger gun? Bigger guns are generally better, but you're going to lose a lot of DPM out of it. Don't know. Have to think about that one. So here's one for the stat twats out there. So the people who love getting, they're not stat twats, everyone who wants marks of excellence, but there are a few that are, so I'm going to call them stat twats. So if you are desperate to get the third mark of excellence on your tier 10 tanks, it was being pointed out quite rightly by a number of people that if you played the ranked battles or the 30 by 30 mode that's coming up in the next patch, your chances of getting marks of excellence at tier 10 went up considerably, because obviously you've got a huge amount more potential damage to be had, and Circumflex is one of the many contributors apparently who pointed this out, and Wargaming have decided that from now on, basically from the next patch of the test server, rank battles and epic random battles will no longer be counted towards gun marks. So that will keep the stat twats happy. So good job. Now the only thing to say about these 30v30 and rank battles is I believe they still will count for missions. So if you've got a mission to do a certain amount of damage, what better to do it than to go on random battles, because there's so much more damage to be had on those things because there are so many more tanks available to shoot at. So yeah, I believe that's still happening. So yeah, that's a good way. If you're stuck on doing, I don't know, I can't remember one of the missions where you have to do 5,000 damage or something, just hop over to rank battles or the special 30v30 when it comes in the next patch, and you'll be able to do it a lot easier than you would otherwise, because you've got twice as many targets. However, of course, there's twice as many people shooting at you, but hey, can't have everything, can you? Well, that's a first. I've never seen anything like this before. So just played the Pudel, still persisting with it even though I don't really like it. Good choice. You're now a proud owner of a Pudel, originally a German Panther, now fighting under the Polish banner. You will need little advice on how to make the most out of your tank. we've created a compact guide on how to successfully play the Pudel. Check it out. And so it's got that as a summary. Tells you what equipment they recommend. Now, I don't use them, so maybe that's why I'm crap at it. Got the gun rammer, but I've got what have I got? Ammo rack, wet ammo rack for one, that's for sure. Tells you what the crew options should be, which is intriguing. What does this thing do? Learn more. And then it links through to a page all about the Pudel and the gameplay. Here's another thing I've never seen. Epic medals mean epic offers. Epic medal means epic offers. So the epic medal you just earned means you can start bragging. Well, take the bragging even further. Your feat of skill rewards you with 20% off coupon, meaning you can buy anything you've had your eye on for a while at a great discount. So I got, what medal is that? Pescucci's medal. Okay, it's not that epic, but there you go, I'll take it. Use this, how do I use this? Okay, so I've got 6 days to use 20% off on anything in the shop. Okay, fair enough. Interesting. Huh. Never seen that before. Well, well, well. Worth getting. Oh, it's good to have these little special offers, I guess. So cool. Good on you, Wargaming. I like it. I like it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you found it interesting and useful. If you did, please click like. If you didn't, let me know why. Really interested to find out, to make this video a little bit better for people watching. Anyway, look forward to also getting the regular feedback from people on what they think about some of these features. Certainly I really appreciate how active people are on leaving comments and discussing some of the things that I raise in rambles particularly. So keep it up, please, peoples. It's really nice to hear from you. It means that I know that people are actually watching the videos, so thumbs up from me. So anyway, that's it for now. I hope you enjoy your games. Have fun. Try not to take it too seriously. And I will see you again soon. This is Gamer Dom, signing out.